Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Cambrian floor lamp. This is the 241107. There's also a Cambrian table lamp. Check it out, as well as some other fixtures that use slate that's quarried right here in Vermont. So check them all out if you get a chance. Let's get into the size of the fixture itself, and this is pretty tall, 73.6 inches tall. The widest point of it is going to be the actual shade itself, and that's coming in at 22 inches, right around 22. The base on it is 1.8 inches and 12 inches in diameter. So why don't we touch base on talk about the shade to begin with. So Hubbardton Forge's shades are made right here in the United States. This is going to be using a white fabric on the outside. On the inside, it's going to be using a reflective material that's going to reflect light up and down. The nice thing about Empire shades, and you can kind of see it's got a little bit of an angle to it, that's your Empire part of this, is open on the top, and that's going to let a lot of light go up, hit your ceiling, bounce around the room, and bathe that room in nice ambient light. So this fixture alone can light an entire room on its own. It's going to throw some great light. It'll also put light down on your book, so it kind of does a nice double duty there. So size on this guy is 22 inches across the bottom. The top of it's coming in at 19.3, and it is 11 inches up that slope. The top of it, those little bars, are called a spider. These are going to always be in black. The part that holds the shade to the fixture itself, to the lamp, is called a harp. The harp has these little cups on the bottom, and we're going to talk about that now really quick. The installations instructions, and it's really just putting the harp on, putting the shade on, putting on the turn knob on your socket, and you're pretty much done. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. It is going to show you that full parts list. It's going to show you how it all goes together, which basically you're going to take your harp, you're going to squeeze it a little bit. It has a memory, so it's going to spring back. Those little cups, you're going to make them go up. You're going to put it into the little holders that are flanking the socket. You're going to let those little cups drop, and they'll kind of lock it all together. You're going to put your shade on top, and then you're going to put the finial on top of that. So the socket, this part of it, the harp, and then we know that this part of it is called the spider, and these are always going to be kind of in a glossy black finish. The finish for the finial, the part that goes on the very top, is going to be part of that choose your finish when you pull that menu down and look at all those finishes. Okay, so let's jump into the slate really quick on this. So I mentioned this is quarried in Vermont. So the slate belt, or the slate valley of Vermont, kind of runs from Castleton, and that's where Hubbardton Forge is, right down along the New York Vermont border. And that goes for about 20 miles going down. So if you guys ever have a chance to come up to Vermont, you can tour those slate towns. It's pretty cool. There's slate everywhere. People have slate floors in their houses. They have slate chimneys, and so their house is made out of slate. All the roofs here are pretty much slate. So it's pretty cool. Comes in all kinds of different colors. The color of this is going to be pretty consistent, but there's natural variations in slate, so to kind of keep that in mind. It's also a federally funded slate museum right in this area, so you can check it out too and see the entire history of the Welsh people who came from Great Britain and came over and pretty much made this area where the Slate Valley is the center of slate manufacturing in the United States. So it's all pretty cool. Okay, let's move on and talk about this socket really quick. So it's going to be using a dimmer that's built into the socket itself. There's a microchip in here, so it's going to allow this to be, hear it clicking on, clicks on, goes to full power, so it's a dimmable fixture. It dims down, clicks off. Very simple. No big things going on there. As far as lamping goes, you've got some options to do. So it's going to be recommended an A19 bulb. An A19 bulb is just the regular size light bulb we all grew up with, and these are both LEDs, but if you want to go incandescent, you can still do that up to a 60-watt bulb. However, LEDs are awesome. They come in all kinds of different patterns and ways. So this is a phosphorus LED. It has those little orange lines inside. I kind of like these, and these are the newer ones. The old school LEDs are still pretty good, and they're going to fit great in this. This is an A19. I have found these bulbs up to, well, easily a 60-watt equivalent, 75-watt equivalent. I've even found these up to 100-watt equivalent online, so don't think that you can't get much light out of this. So as far as the bulb fitting into the harp, that's the only trick. So we know an A19 is a recommended bulb, so it's going to fit in perfectly right inside of, right inside there, because your socket's down in here. However, there's another bulb out there, so if you want to go super bright on this, you can do that too. And that's called an A20. A20. That's the next size up in light bulb land. So here's an A19, here's an A20. You can see the difference. This is a 100-watt equivalent I picked up at Home Depot in a 4-pack, and it was pretty cheap. I thought it was pretty good, and I use these all over our showroom all the time. If you're going to use this in there, the best thing to do would be put this into the socket first, screw it into the socket, and then put your harp on over that. So then it'll fit perfectly. So you don't have to worry about that part of it. These bulbs always come in different ways. I talk about it in other videos. They're going to offer these to you in 2700 Kelvin. That's that super yellow setting sun color. They're also going to offer these to you in something called daylight, and that's going to be a bluish white hospital waiting room, overcast day kind of light. Not my favorite, but some people do like it out there. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white, soft white, because it mimics an incandescent bulb we all grew up with. It's also the light that's coming down from these LEDs above me. So that's going to be 3000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. Oh, another little thing before I jump back into that again. This is 20 pounds, so this is actually a pretty substantial, heavy fixture, heavy floor lamp. It's doubtful that your grandkids chasing a dog are going to knock it over, but just a little tidbit of there. Back to the light bulbs for a second. Remember, it's a dimmable fixture. Remember we talked about the dimmer in the socket. So when you're out there scouting around for bulbs, just make sure it says dimmable on that box, or if you're online, dimmable on that page. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below. So scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart. So you can click on dark smoke. You can click on soft gold. Doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. In those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.